Hello guys and welcome to the next episode of Plum Lab. Now we're starting this episode off right from where the last episode finished. And what I'm going to be doing is finishing off our refined storage system that we put into motion last episode. So hopefully we now have enough stuff, yay, to make a couple more 1K storage disks. And what we're going to do with these things, guys, is we're going to use them to store all of our items, as you can probably guess. Now we don't have that many items, so I think 3 of those should be okay for now. And I think the first or most important thing to do is to get ourselves a grid. Now a grid is what's going to allow us to interact with the refined storage system, so it's going to allow us to put items into the system and out of the system. And I love how it's teasing me with an angel ring. I would love one of these things, but we have absolutely nothing close to what we're actually going to, you know, need to make an angel ring. But anyway, that's a story for another day. What we're going to do is get ourselves a couple of grids. So we're going to need some glass, we're going to need some construction cores, some improved processes. Now I'm going to want at least 2 of these things. So I'm going to make sure to double up on everything. So machine casing. We're going to need to make some more machine casing. Do we have enough of the quartz infused iron? Did we really use up all the quartz infused iron? And we made a machine casing beforehand. And you know, I'm going to be honest, I'm actually really glad in that last mining trip I didn't neglect iron. Like, I neglected it a little bit, like I didn't, you know, go absolutely crazy on getting all the iron. Where's all the... Oh, all the black quartz has got stuck because it can't get smelted. Derp. That's a big derp on my part. So now all the iron is going through the pulverizer. So we're going to have to wait a little bit of time before we can actually, you know, get the iron to actually make what we need. Well, what I'm going to do in the meantime, I believe, is use this cabling, and I'm going to run this to essentially where we need it to go. Hopefully I'll have enough, as I believe I want it to come out here. I mean, obviously I'm not really going to be able to. Actually, do I really want it there? I might move everything around. I might sort of have it here, actually. Where the ladder is, I'm just trying to think whether that would be a smart plan. This is going to be a tough one. I think if I have it here, yeah, this doesn't seem like the complete end of the world. So I'm tempted to say, do I stick it in the wall or do I stick it sort of, you know, in its own little panel? I might stick it in its own little panel actually. I'm gonna make it look a bit. Don't worry guys, I'm gonna make it look a little bit nicer later on. But for now, I'm just gonna get some basic stone and I'm gonna chisel it out. And you know, we're just gonna give like some panelled stone. That doesn't seem like too shabby of an idea right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a sort of interface here, and I'm going to facade this in due time. Actually, you know, no, I've changed my mind. I think I might have it flush with the wall. I can easily facade it in later down the line to make it look a little bit nice. I think if I have it here and then I facade it in, like I said, admittedly guys, it's going to look pretty terrible for the first little bit, because obviously I've not got any facades or anything, and you're just going to see bare wires exposed and you're going to be like, what the hell am I doing? Why does it look so terrible? So I'm going to stick that guy down there and run the cabling, hopefully down here. And hopefully we'll encounter the basement at some point. I might start digging here actually to increase our chances. Yes! There we go. So that's exactly where we need to run the cable up from. That's almost straight up actually. I'm really impressed with how well that actually worked out. I was not expecting to pretty much run it straight up, but hey, I suppose that is a really convenient place to put it actually. So the cabling is there. I'm going to need to dig out a little bit more of the wall. I'm just going to have to turn just a little bit. So, okay, it doesn't want to let me build cabling actually while I'm still on top of the cable. So I'm going to have to work around that. I think this is an okay time for it to then bend 90. Well, yeah, for it to bend 90 degrees, then 90 degrees again. Let's dig straight up, get ourselves out. And where is the wall? Okay, I don't want the wall on the floor. There we go. So I'm going to use the. God damn it! What? No! Oh, this is not my day, guys. This is really not my day. So I believe that should be good enough, actually. So I'm gonna make this look a little bit nice. I'm gonna put. Yeah, I'm going to stick a piece of the wall panelling there, actually, just so it looks a little bit nicer. I mean, admittedly, it is just straight up dirt at the minute, and you can see you're straight outside. It's going to look nicer in due time, guys. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to attempt to make it look a little bit nicer, because yeah, I admit at the minute it looks pretty terrible. So that's some iron that we've got, so I can now go and craft that into some more quartz infused iron. I'm not going to turn it all into quartz infused iron because I don't want to use up all my nether quartz, but say about it. Okay, well, I've just used up all the iron I've created anyway, so I didn't even get a chance to use up all my nether quartz. Let's see, so for a grid, we're going to need another machine casing. Looks like I said we're going to be making 2 of these things. We're then going to need some destruction cores, some improved processors, which is just printed silicon, which I believe you created a bit before. We're going to need some printed improved processors, which is gold. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to gather all the materials I need now, just so that I've not got to worry about it later down the line. Now it is raining, so I'm going to sleep and we'll be right back. Okay guys, we'll hopefully, yep, stop raining now. So we've got some gold. What else do we need? So we're going to need some destruction cores, which is nether quartz and a basic processor, and that's just a printed basic processor, which is iron, which we have. So I believe downstairs now we should actually have everything we need to create our new grid system. So what I'm going to do is go to the solderer, and what we're going to need, so we're going to need some construction cores, which is a basic processor, and we'll believe we're going to need quite a few of these basic processors actually. So what I might do is let's get a few of those cooking up. See, there's the iron we've got. So I might, you know, make about, I don't know, should we say make about 6 of them? That seems like an okay number. And at some point we can add some speed upgrades and stuff in here and automatic crafting. That's definitely going to be one thing I'm going to do, but I'm not going to focus on that too much for now. Like I can deal with manual crafting and stuff, but things like we can get interfaces that deal with the solderer. So excuse me, like when we want stuff soldered, and we can just go in the crafting grid and say, you know, solder me up like 6 of these, and it'll do it all for us. So we haven't got to manually come down here each time and do it, which I think is pretty cool. So I'm going to go and put in, how many of these are we going to make? Yeah, we have all the materials I believe to make it, but it only does one of these at a time, I think. So we're going to need 2 basic processors for the construction cores, and I believe we need the same for the destruction cores. We need 4 of these in total. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're going to need some more printed silicon, I believe. I believe silicon you get just from smelting up nether quartz. So, you know, I may end up having to have another trip to the nether actually, which will be a little bit annoying, but it's not going to be the end of the world. So do we have any silicon poking around? I don't believe we have any silicon poking around. In fact, it'd be in here, wouldn't it, if we had any? We have some black quartz ore, which isn't helpful. Can you use this stuff though to make silicon? So if I look up at the silicon from AE2, that's just from smelting the quartz dust. Now I believe we have some quartz ore, so we could actually smelt that. We then got this, which you get from sag milling clay and redstone ore, and what's that, sand? Also you can create silicon from sag milling sand. That's actually a much better way of doing it, although I believe we're going to need some more sand if we're going to do the whole sag mill idea. I don't believe we have a sag mill either. Can you do it in, oh, and does it have to be done in a sag mill? That's what I want to know. Yeah, I believe it has to be done in a sag mill. There's no other way to get it. So we don't have a sag mill, which I believe is it's an Ender IO thing, which is why I said Ender IO is very, very helpful. Silicon from refined storage, the only way you can get it really is just from smelting nether quartz ore, which I believe is going to be our most reliable way to get it until we get a sag mill. And as much as sag mills aren't too much of a pain to get, like I can't really be bothered to, you know, dive into Ender IO straight away. I think I'll leave that for another time. So we have 4 of these guys, which, if I go to grids, I bet these guys are going to need, yeah, they need printed silicon as well. So, you know, I'm going to have a quick trip to the nether, guys, and we'll be right back. Okay, guys, we're back from our little trip to the nether, and I now have a little bit of nether quartz. Not an amazing amount, but 23. I'm hoping that should be enough. Is that going to be enough? I really don't know. But anyway, I think what I'm also going to do is get a little bit of wood. And I think the best place to get that is from our cherry wood farm. So we've got some that are actually starting to ripen actually, but so that's the annoying thing, is I can use this as a bit of a temporary food source until we get farming going, which I do intend to get going at some point, guys. Don't worry, I'm not, you know, like trying to let farming go or anything. I know I'm going to need to do some farming. See, so some cherries are popping out, which is a good thing. And I'll get rid of the dirt and pick up the cherries. We only got 2, but I wasn't expecting much since the cherries hadn't really ripened yet. So we've got a little bit of wood, so now we can, you know, I'll stick that in a... There we go. Did that craft? Yes, it did. So now I've got a little bit more wood to play around with. We're not, you know, too constrained for wood. And back to soldering, I guess. So back down into the basement. I keep saying that a lot, actually. I'm not trying to sort of indirectly reference the the episode name from a few episodes ago. So, like I said, what I'm going to do now is make as much as I can without all the printed silicon. So we have the destruction cores, which is just nether quartz, and some basic processes. So how many basic processes can we actually spew out? I don't know how many we can actually spew out. Let's see. So if I go to the destruction cores, basic processes, okay, we're missing printed silicon, which now I've got some more silicon here. You know, I'll just stick that in there. Should we stick that in there for now? Yeah, let's just do that. Let's stick some silicon in there and get it all printed. But I might stick. Okay, I'm not going to need rare earth, and I'm not even sure what rare earth is from Thaumcraft, so we're not really going to need that anytime soon. I'll just dump it in there for now. So I'll let that guy run away, and we're going to need some glowstone dust and some basic processes. Now, do we have any did we even get a chance to make any basic processes? Yes, we did. So we need a couple of construction cores. And we're going to need a couple of destruction cores, which I believe was with nether quartz. Yes, it is. So that's a couple of destruction cores and a couple of construction cores. Now we're going to need improved processes, which is gold in a solderer, first of all. And the printed silicon I'll leave in there for now. The gold I think might take a little bit longer, I'm not entirely sure. The tin ingots actually I'm going to plonk in there, and the remainder of the gold. And there, I'll stick them in there. Like I said, I'll sort this all out later, guys, when our grid system's up and running. So I believe 2 of them was all we needed, actually. Actually, no, we needed 4. My bad, because also we're making 2 grids, not just 1. We have quite a lot of gold, actually. I'm very happy with the amount of gold we've actually managed to come out with. Let's see, can I stick that? No, there's no point sticking the dust back in the system now while it's mid-run. We've pretty much ran through all the ore now, so we have a lot of minerals we've actually managed to come through. We've got some platinum ingots, which I believe are like byproducts and stuff you can get, so you can get like byproducts of silver and stuff. I'm not going to complain about it. It's actually pretty helpful to get these byproducts, actually. So let's see. Has the gold gone through? Yes, yes it has. So now we're going to make a couple of these guys. 4 of them. Perfect. So once these guys are made, all we're going to need is some glass. Can we use normal glasses? Except any block glass. That's cool. We've got machine casings, and we have some quartz enriched iron. Quite a lot of it, actually. So then hopefully we should be able to get some grids going. I think I'm going to plonk one of them down here. In fact, what I might do is actually move my disk drive system. I might move the disk drives down to here. Because I just think it's a little bit less in your face, I think. Is that like the best way to put it? Yeah. So they can happily sit there, you know. The good thing with refined storage is that you can connect blocks through blocks. They don't have to all be connected by cables, which I think is a kind of a cool thing. So these guys are now going, and I believe once these are done, I should be able to go upstairs to the crafting bench, and we should now be able to make some, whatchamacallit, we should be able to make some grids, and then all we need to do is get a crafting bench involved. Because I believe a crafting grid, you just need to solder it with an advanced, you need an advanced processor to do it as well. I didn't realise you need an advanced processor, which is a printed diamond one. So it's a little bit pricey, actually, if you want to go and you know, make some diamond ones, if you want to make a crafting grid. I think, you know, I'll turn them both into crafting grids. They're much more helpful than just an ordinary grid, because then you can actually do crafting and stuff in them, as the name implies. So any crafting bench and advanced processor, which is just some printed silicon and some redstone. I have 1 more printed silicon, so I'm going to need to get another piece of silicon out of here. And let's solder it up. Then we should have everything to make some crafting grids. Let's see. So let's now get the advanced processor. Stick those guys into craft, and I'm going to make the grids in the intro, actually. Although, do we need... Yeah, I was got scared then. I was like, do we only have 2 like improved processes? I got quite scared then, actually. So grids. Yay, we can make a couple of grids. I'm actually very happy for this moment, guys. We now have some grids, so we can now view all of our items. I think I'm tempted to say, do I use an importer to move our items into the system, or do I just like straight up use, you know, just manually do it? I might just do it manually, because I think that might be a bit easier. Well, it'll be easier than crafting an importer anyway, because I'm not sure how you actually make importers. So, crafting grids. I believe we're going to need 2 crafting benches, aren't we? Keep forgetting we're making 2 of them. So let's go inside the solderer. Bing the recipe in. Boom. Does it only let you do 1? I believe it only lets you do 1 at a time. Yeah, it does. For most to go, this will make life much easier with doing our system. I think for now, like, all the stuff in here, like at some point I will set it to manually import into our system, so we're not having to wait around for it. You're not having to manually move our items about. But I think, can you reuse? How come that advanced processor just automatically jumped in there? I got a bit worried then. I was like, is it automatically like jumped in or whatever? Let's see. So now can we bing in things to make crafting grids? Yes, we can. So the first crafting grid, I'm going to go and plonk down up here. And you guys, if you haven't seen refined storage before, you guys are in for a pretty nice surprise. So I'm stick the crafting grid in, and this guy essentially looks, he has a pretty neat interface, and you're probably wondering, how the hell does this guy work for storage purposes? So if I go and gather up a bunch of stuff in my inventory, I can plonk it right in here. And you guys can now probably see the usefulness of this actual mod as a storage system. So I can plonk all of my items in here that I don't want, and I can like search for them if I want a specific query. So say I want some glowstone, it'll give me everything that's got the word glow in it. I can do crafting recipes and shift them in here. That's what I want with the crafting grid. That's why I think it's worth spending the extra diamond for, to actually get that crafting grid. Since if once it makes life much easier, and anyone who has like really specific needs about how how things are organized and everything has to be in its specific spot. Like in vanilla Minecraft, how like there's just people who want everything in specific chests that are all labeled and stuff. You don't need to with refined storage. You can just happily bung everything inside your storage system, and yeah, then you're away pretty much. So I'm gonna go and collect all the items, and I think I'll be right back, guys, just so you don't have to watch me ferrying back and forth putting all my items in the storage system. Okay guys, so that's pretty much every single item I've got in all these chests. They're all cleared out now, so what I can do now effectively is break all this stuff. I don't really need it anymore. Like all these chests and stuff, they can effectively be broken and gone. I'm not really gonna need a crafting bench anymore because I've already got it in here. Now there's one ever, it's not really a catch I suppose, but it's more of just a thing you have to be aware of when using refined storage. And you have to make sure that the system constantly draws up power effectively. You have to be aware that you will be constantly using power while you're using your refined storage system. So one thing you have to be aware of is make sure you have a constant supply of power for this thing. Because if you don't give it a constant supply of power, you're then going to be having problems, because effectively all your items then become inaccessible. That's the only problem really with refined storage. So it's not like you've run out of power and it will forgive you. It's really unforgiving if you don't have enough power, because then you won't have any access to your items, and it's not like you can then go in your system and go, okay, get out some fuel or whatever. Because if you have all your fuel stored in the refined storage system, then you're going to be having problems. Now I think what you can do is, as you can see, it shows you sort of how much all this stuff actually uses per tick. So the solderer just being idle there uses power per tick. The crafting grid and the disk drives use power per tick. So you have to be aware of it. It's only a really small power drain in theory. As you can see now with both energy systems are working, we're chugging out power massively compared to what we're actually drawing up. So we're not going to have to worry about it for now. We just have to make sure that power system doesn't get low. Because otherwise we're going to need to go and fill it with fuel again, which I suppose isn't the end of the world, because at the minute we're just powered on coal. So it's really not the end of the world. And as you can see, so now we've got a crafting grid down here if we want to go and do stuff, and we have a crafting grid upstairs. So you have access to our items anywhere. And because it's all part of one network, they're all interconnected. So the items in here are identical to the items in here. And if you're wondering where the items are actually stored, they're being stored on the disk drive effectively as data. So you'll notice 2 of them have gone red, and that basically means they're effectively full. So as you can see, 1000 out of 1,000, and both of those are full. And this one's only got about just over 550 left. So it's 557 it's got left. So basically, we don't have that much storage left, and they only put a few 1K drives in. But I'm sure you can see if you have all 64K drives in, you can see you're going to have a lot of storage. And you don't have to worry about like certain types of items. So, for example, say you had a bunch of bows and stuff that all had different damage values on them. Effectively, the system doesn't really care about what sort of types of items you've got. All it cares about is number of items. I know that's one thing. Like, I'm not hating on Apply Logistics or anything. Like, don't think I am. It's a really good mod. I really love it. But early game refined storage is much better because you don't have to worry about channels. You don't have to worry about, like I said, all the different types of items. Like, I think you can only have a maximum, even on the 64Ks, of 63 different types of items. So if you had loads of different bows with all different damage values on them, you would be in trouble, because you wouldn't be able to store them in this type of thing, because they all have different, I believe it's metadata actually, if they have different damage values. So the next thing to probably work on is power, since if I'm honest, we're only generating it using Steam Dynaries, and that's really, basic early game power that we're pretty much past now, where I believe we're much better than, early game power. Like, 8 episodes in now, so I believe we probably could do with upgrading our power system. And I believe also building a bit more of Plum Labs, because at the minute, Plum Labs is it's looking a bit sad at the minute. I think I could probably use like Corey coming on at some point, and then doing some whole stuff with chisel and bits. I know that's like his thing, you could put like Plum Labs entrance or whatever or something on here to make it look really cool. But I don't know, like, I've not really decided, guys. Do you think we should be some sort of like evil laboratory that goes around doing like evil experiments and polluting all the land and stuff, or should we be like a green laboratory? Like, I think if you guys have any suggestions on what specialization you want me to go into, feel free to drop it in the comments below. Whether you want me to go into sort of like a biodiverse laboratory, or whether you want me to do like sort of whether you want me to play some sort of like nice friendly lab on the outside and like some sort of twisted evil lab in the inside. I don't know. I think it's an interesting take, guys, that we could easily go with this series for our Plum Labs. Obviously, as you can see, I'm all dressed in my Plum Lab suit. So I think what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to go and see how long the episode's running on for, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so the episode is now running on, like, we've gone past the 20-minute mark, which is sort of my main target for these episodes. That's pretty much the wrapping up point for the episode. I'm pretty happy with what we've done. We've managed to get some crafting grids in place. We've now got a much, I mean a much better, storage system for items. We can keep adding 1K storage drives for the time being. I know it's a bit of a temporary fix, but it means that we don't have to worry so much about, like getting like really expensive like 4Ks and 16Ks and all that sort of stuff, like for storing items. So we've got enough space for now, but we're meaning to expand it in the future. And I think next episode we're going to come back and look at power. So thank you for watching, guys. Hope you've enjoyed. Goodbye from Plum.